Hello, welcome to MCFC Connect. Before I say or get on with anything, I just want to ask what are your thoughts on the new setup and the new graphic I've done. I've been working on it. It's not too different. It's got obviously some changes, as you can see. We'll now have the players on with the starting 11. This will be something I try use for the actual games as well, and that empty box at the bottom will be for the bench, but I didn't see a point in doing a whole graphic for the bench here, but the players will be there in the bench for the Sevilla game. So yeah, I hope this is to your liking, this new graphic. If it's not, no worries, I will either edit this one, try and make it better, or if you want me to, I will just go back to the original. But you know, I wanted to do this one from scratch, because the other one was off a bit of a template. It had been edited a lot, but I don't know, it feels better to know that I did this one all from scratch. So anyway, on to the actual video. Obviously we've got a massive game tomorrow against Sevilla. The Spanish side won the Europa League last season against Roma. It's a massive game for us because it's cemented into our history, really. You know, the moment we enter that pitch, we make history. Good history or not, you know. Doesn't matter. If we lose, we lose, and if we win, we win. But either way, it's history for us because we've never been in this competition before. Of course, Sevilla have, so I suppose they edge us in that department. And so anyway, we'll just get cracking on with it. Some players we won't spend too long on, because we don't need to, but some others we will. Anyway, starting with goalkeeper Edison, I ain't got many doubts that he'll start tomorrow, although I wouldn't be too shocked if Edison did start. No, if Ortega did, sorry. You know, he's a solid keeper and he's been getting a lot of praises recently. So I wouldn't be too surprised. It just depends on how seriously Pep takes this, because as you know, Ortega played in the FA Community Shield, whilst Ramsdale started for Arsenal in the FA Community Shield. So it all depends on how Pep sees this the game, and how serious he's going to take it. Obviously he's going to take it serious because in the end it's a trophy, but I think you know what I mean. But Edison recently, and especially back in the last season, has been pretty good. Didn't put a foot wrong against Burnley, obviously. There's no reason for him to come out the starting 11. So yeah, why not obviously just keep playing. Now then, we're gonna go straight to. We'll start with Nathan Ake actually, because I don't know, it feels a bit of lowball to go Nathan Ake instead of Josko Vardiol. I just think it's unfair to take Nathan Ake out of the starting 11, because you know hasn't put a foot wrong yet, and I think Vardiol's really got to earn his place, because Nathan Ake is really good for us, like all the time. So there's no reason for me that Nathan Ake should leave the 11. But I wouldn't be surprised if Josko Vardiol plays. In the end, we haven't bought him for him to sit on the bench. We haven't spent all this money for that. So Josko Vardiol, there's a serious chance he'll start, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but I just have a feeling he won't. I don't know what it is, I'm just following my gut on it. But either way, if he does start, then I'm not too bothered. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, because it will be his official debut for Sissy. Starting debut, that is. So hopefully whoever starts will have a good game. Now then, on to Akanji. We're actually quite thin on backline options currently, but you know, if there was, John Stones has only just returned from injury, and I don't feel like rushing him back in, so that helps Akanji get into the 11. I don't think there's enough trust in Laporte for him to come into this system, since he did struggle to do it last season. And Ruben Diaz is absent from the squad for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. You know, he wasn't with the Burnley squad either, so I'm sure there's something going on. But it's a miss to not have Diaz, because he'd definitely be in this 11. But with or without him, we should still be able to put a good defence together, and I think we have. Well, I have in this 11. But Akanji, he didn't look bad, but he had a couple of mistakes against Burnley. None that were costly, but perhaps if it was a more clinical side, it could have been. So yeah, Akanji, I feel, hasn't done too much to get punished for his errors, but yeah, I think Akanji will stick in the 11. I think Pep's got enough trust in him for that. And I'll bounce straight to Kyle Walker. In this centre-back position... Oh, sorry about the dogs, guys. I'll just mute. Really sorry about the dogs barking, guys. It is an issue that I hope to fix eventually. Not by like removing them or anything like that. I'm just, I don't know, letting them out for a bit. But it has been raining, so I don't want them to get wet. But back to where I was. Kyle Walker. He's having a, you know, he's been fine. He's going to be signing a new contract extension soon, so I think it's only right that we play him. You know, he's not signing a new contract extension to stay on the bench when he had offers from Bayern Munich. Thank you for the comment, Snap. But yeah, Kyle Walker, I think, should start because his pace is massive for us. And I think it will be crucial, potentially in this game, because I think Sevilla might want to counter-attack us a bit. They're going to probably let us have the ball, and they'll try hit us on the break. But anyways, on to starting in the midfield now. Rico Lewis, who is, obviously he's just signed a new contract. He's officially signed a new contract till 2028, which is huge. Really, really happy about that. Again, against Burnley, he looked a little shaky, but I'm sure that he'll improve as he gets some more game time, and this is a good opportunity for him to get game time. Again, I think if John Stones was available, I'd put him in. No discredit to Rico Lewis, but I would put him in, but I don't want to rush John Stones. We don't want another Kevin De Bruyne situation where we may have rushed him back from injury and now could go out for months. Well, is going out for months in KDB's case. But yeah, Rico Lewis, super talent, is only going to get better. And yeah, he should do fine in this game, hopefully. Fingers crossed, that is. Peace to Kat Kawhi. And thank you, Thomas Wilson, for reassuring me about the dogs. But anyways, on to Rodri now. It's self-explanatory, really. His performance against Burnley was great. So that alone puts him in the squad for this. Rodri doesn't put a foot wrong for us, really. Apart from against Tottenham a couple of times last season, but other than that, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. He's crucial to our squad, Rodri, and an injury on him would be super bad. And I think we'd really struggle without him. I actually think he's one of our most influential players, and without him we'd probably struggle, because then we got to rely on Calvin Phillips, who, well, it's self-explanatory really, with obviously getting injured. Then he came back overweight from getting injured after the World Cup, and clearly hasn't gained Pep's trust fully. He's really got to fight for his place this season, and I don't think it's totally out of the woods that he could start against Sevilla. Again, just depends on how seriously Pep's going to take it. But yeah, Rodri, I think, will start as he deserves. Now we'll jump straight into our midfield, which has really been made thin after the recent news, because obviously Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva not available. Kevin De Bruyne is going to be out until 2024, it's looking like, which sucks, really does suck. That is if he undergoes surgery. I think he should undergo surgery if that's the best option for him, because we don't want to rush him back or anything like that, and if him going to surgery is going to make him come back fresh and all that, then we've got to do it. And the second half of the season is when we're going to need him most anyway, in the back end of the season where it gets tough, as we all know. But anyway, on to Jack Grealish. Didn't start against Burnley, didn't get any minutes against Burnley. Did play against Arsenal, but he didn't have the best game, in my opinion, if you want the truth. But yeah, Jack Grealish, we all know what he could do. That second half of last season, he was just great. Didn't get tons of goals and assists, but everyone knows what he contributed towards the end of last season, and we probably wouldn't be the same without him. So yeah, Jack Grealish, really, really massive for him to pick it up this game and pick it up from Arsenal. Hopefully he'll be better, and I've no doubt that he'll get back to his very best in no time. On to Julian Alvarez. Again, I don't think he had the greatest game against Burnley, saying that he did get an assist though. But again, he can play in this position because he did at the back end of last season, and he played pretty well, as all City fans could see. So I think that having him in this game, and the energy he'll bring, the pressing he'll bring as well, is good. We all know what he's like. The pressing is great from him. And he can always pop up with a goal. That's why he tends to pop up with goals. He got quite a few goals for a second striker last season. But on that note, we'll jump straight to Mateo Kovacic. Obviously signed him in the summer from Chelsea, 30 million quid. This will be his second start as a Manchester City player, after getting a start against Arsenal. So yeah, Mateo Kovacic did pretty good coming on against Burnley after Kevin De Bruyne went off injured. I'm sure that he's going to start this game. I think all four of these will, because of how we've lost Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva due to a reporter said, I think Jack Gorn said he was out to illness, and I can't remember what the other one was. I think it might have been just a small knock in training that put him out. So, yeah, back to Mateo Kovacic though. Played pretty well against Burnley after coming on. It wasn't spectacular, but wasn't bad either. Played a nice ball over the top for Phil Foden, which he just didn't capitalise on, sadly. And did a nice little play with Phil Foden, which Phil Foden, it was more difficult for him, but again, didn't capitalise on. So, yeah, Phil Foden, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Mateo Kovacic though, showing good signs, seems to be fitting in pretty well with City, and how we play, it's pretty good on the ball, good at passing, and he's had a while training with the squad as well, so makes sense for him to fit in. But anyway, now on to Phil Foden. We all know what he can do. He's great on the ball. Dribbling is second to none. And shooting, he can be a bit... he does struggle a bit on shooting, but he's not bad at it, to be fair. I can't remember how many goals he got last season, but I think he got 11 in the Premier League, which is pretty good. So, yeah, Phil Foden, I've no doubt that he'll have, that he will start, and I think that he'll have a decent game as well, Phil Foden. And with a lot of rumours, I've seen people not happy about how we're going in for Lucas Paqueta and how Phil Foden's getting pushed out the squad. Don't think that's happening at all, if you want the truth. Yeah, Phil Foden, he's clearly valued by Pep Guardiola. Everyone knows how highly he's spoken of, being called the English Iniesta and Messi and all that. So, yeah, Phil Foden, he's not getting replaced by Paqueta. He's just a big option to have. What do I think of Haaland? Well, what does every City fan think of Haaland? He's a fantastic player. He had a good game against Burnley, and I believe that he can have a good game against Sevilla. Got 52 goals last season, which is just phenomenal, and I think he's going to have another good year. Thank you for the comment. So, yeah, but quickly back to Phil Foden before I do speak about Haaland a bit more. Phil Foden, just again the energy and pressing he'll add to the game, like how Julian Alvarez will. Yeah, and it's all just good news in my books, and we'll go straight on to Haaland at that. Not sure what else to say on Phil. Erling Haaland, obviously, if he gets an eye for goal, he'll usually score it. Obviously struggled back end of last season. He went for a bit of a goal drought at the end of it, but didn't matter because we still won the league and we still won the treble. But he seems to have started the season well, getting 2 goals against Burnley. That second one was just spectacular. I think we can all agree on that. And that first time hit off the crossbar and in, really, really good. Seems to be playing decently well too. The link up. He's been dropping deep a bit more, which is always good. But in the end, if he does his job, which if he gets a sniff of goal and he shoots and he can hit it into the back of the net, that is what we really need from Erling Haaland. So yeah, Erling Haaland, aerial threat too on corners is big. And yeah, I hope he has a good game. Hopefully he's clinical like he normally is. And the explosive pace he's got as well for balls over the top, that'll be big as well. And yeah, but now we'll jump onto how I think we'll approach the game. I think Sevilla are going to let us have the ball, if you want the truth. I don't think they'll try to challenge us for the ball. They might press us a lot, like how Inter did. It really depends on how Sevilla want to approach this. Because I think City will approach it like they always do. Keep the ball overflowing the midfield and try play Haaland through and try pop up a couple of goals themselves if they can. But I do think Sevilla will play counter-attacking, tight at the back football. I think that'll be the case. Sorry. Where was I? Yeah, Sevilla would. I think they will play counter-attacking, hit us on the break. I think they got a couple of pacey players. I'm not too sure on their squad, if you want the truth. I don't watch the Liga, and I didn't watch much of the Europa League last season either. So yeah, I believe that they'll do counter-attacking and they'll hit us on the break, like I've stated. Repeating myself now. But yeah, if you got any more questions, just ask in live chats. That's sadly the comments aren't turned on. I'd like them to be, but they're just not. So I guess this is your chance to ask any questions. But I'm just trying to think now if there's anything else I can cover. I might as well just cover a little bit of transfer news. You know, with Lucas Paqueta, it seems like according to Fabrizio Romano, so basically it means it's true. We are 100% preparing a second bid for him. I think we will get Lucas Paqueta, judging on how we're going to be doubling down our efforts since Kevin De Bruyne's injury. And I think Lucas Paqueta will do well as well, if we get him. I think if he undergoes the right nurturing from Pep Guardiola, and if he keeps a level head and just treats it like a team game, then I think we won't have anything to worry about with Lucas Paqueta. Jeremy Doku, it seems to have gone a little bit quiet on him from big sources. But I don't think that's anything to worry about, if you want the truth. We're clearly just working on it quietly. By the way, guys, I am sorry about the green screen. I'm pointing at the wrong blooming area. There you go. I'm sorry about the green screen. It is getting better, but just needs to set up another light just to lighten that bit over there up, which will make it better, hopefully. Why was Pep angry of Haaland? I think I did look at it. I think it was because Haaland had a decent chance. Haaland thought like he had a good chance that if he was given the ball, he might have been able to shoot a goal well. But instead, Bernardo Silva, who was on the ball at the time, didn't pass it to Haaland and did something else. I don't remember what it was. But Pep was explaining to Haaland that was the right move. And I just don't think Haaland quite got it. I think Haaland was probably thinking, if you just pass it to me, then I'll add to our lead and we'll score again. You know, that's probably what was going through his head. And so yeah, I think we want that though from Pep Guardiola. He's got to get it across to Haaland and any player really, not just Haaland, if they don't understand. So yeah, hopefully, I doubt it's anything that serious though. Just a misunderstanding from Haaland. Didn't know why Bernardo didn't pass it to him, but I think, yeah, exactly. Firm but fair. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. You know, it's like with Cancelo. Mid-season, last season. He's a fantastic player, Cancelo. We all know it. You know, he's got such great talent. And, you know, just 2 seasons ago, he was arguably the best fullback in the world. Most people saw him as that. Even I did. But then, you know, he had that big attitude switch up. He wasn't happy that he wasn't getting games in January. Had like 3 starts in 10 games. So yeah, Erling, and Pep Guardiola didn't change on it. And then when Cancelo supposedly said in the training ground, "I'm going to leave this club," and basically was threatening that he's going to leave, Pep just said, "Then go." You know, no one's bigger than the club, and Pep sees that better than anyone, and he's willing to shift people out. But yeah, Pep, firm but fair, is you've hit it on the head. So yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about tomorrow, because even though I don't think Josko Vardy will start, I do think he's gonna come off the bench like he did against Burnley. For how long, I'm not sure. Wait, that guy said I should need a drink. I do think. Like I said, a lot to be excited about tomorrow. And I think there's a lot to be excited about in the future as well. With incoming signings like Lucas Paqueta, Jeremy Doku, and maybe anyone else we might get in. Who knows what's going to happen in the remainder of the transfer window. It's all really exciting times, and it's good to be playing in the Uefa Super Cup as well. Just gives us that reminder that we did actually win the Champions League in June against Inter Milan. It's crazy to think about, really, and that we finally did it. Finally got over the line. But it's nice to think about too. But I'd like to thank people for watching. I didn't expect to get this many questions and all that. It makes me not want to leave. But thank you, R_9912. You know, I do like getting questions from the chat, and I'll always respond. And thank you, Snap, Thomas Wilson, Cat Kawaii, for your comments as well. And if you're interested in to continue watching, we'll be live tomorrow as well at 7:30. Me and my dad. Watching the UEFA Super Cup. Hopefully we can get a good result. Fingers crossed. If we don't, though, it's not the end of the world. We go again. We keep going. And we try to push for more trophies. But once again, thanks a ton for watching. It really does mean tons to me to have this many viewers. I know it's only 9 views. And I know it's only 7, technically 6 comments, but it just means a lot to me. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow on the next live stream. If I don't, maybe I'll see you in a future live stream. But until then, see ya.